Well, guys, we've got some good news and some bad news. Good news, the embargo's been lifted and we've had a busy end to our transfer window. The bad news, Jamie Thomas is out for quite some time. So guys, welcome back to the Stones Rolling On Up. Hope you're all doing well. And as I said just a few seconds ago, we have had our transfer embargo lifted. We have got new owners here at Maidstone United. As you can see, I brought you straight onto the staff screen here so you can see our new owner, Ryan Summerfield. I believe it was a local businessman. Obviously, with the game, you have a couple of different options for different owners, and we got the local businessman option. And he's come in and he's actually put a little bit of money into the club. He put about £200,000 into the club upon his arrival. And he's happy with me staying as manager, which is good, because sometimes with the board takeovers, you can end up getting sacked. But thankfully, he hasn't sacked me. He's happy to keep me on. He's given us a bit of money to spend. And he's also upped our transfer budget by a couple of thousand. I think he's given us about 50 grand to actually spend. No more wages, unfortunately, but a bit of money to actually spend on transfer fees. I haven't really spent much money, though, at all. But we have made some transfers. The embargo got lifted about 2 weeks after the last episode, so around about the middle of August. So we had about 2 to 3 weeks to actually bring in some more players, and I've been pretty busy. So if we go straight into our transfers here and go into our transfer history, of course, when you were last with us, the last signings we brought in were these four here. We had Denham, the Belgian, as I've now nicknamed him, Alfie Payne and Joel Senior, and we'd also agreed a deal in the future, at least, for Ronan Hurley. I have since bought Ronan in full time. I paid a small fee of about £8,000 to buy him out of his contract at Cork City. So he's now here with us. So I'll show you his profile just so you can see him again. So Ronan Hurley's come in. He's going to be a left back for us. So far I've been kind of interchanging him with Noah Chesmain, or Chesers, on the left back role. And I'm deciding to play as more attacking down that left flank as a result, because Hurley and Chesers are both better going forward, I've found, than what the newly picked up Joel Senior is on the right back. So essentially, that's exactly what Ronan's been brought in to do. He and, as I say, Chesers have been then rotating round, and he's been a decent pickup so far for us. He's played a few games, as you see in them, but he's played 4 games, and he's played quite well in those games so far. Next, though, in terms of the new signings we've picked up since you were last with us, has been these 4 here. We've got Charlie Andrew, Bryson Tambry, Max Harrop and Jordan Hulme. Hulme's being the latest one, literally only arrived about a week or so ago. I'll go through one by one though. So we've got Charlie Andrew, who is going to be our backup goalkeeper. I may well kind of, as the season goes on, actually kind of bring him in to be the first choice. In terms of his actual attributes and his current ability, he is ranked better than Jake Cole, but I just have more faith at the moment in Jake Cole, as he's been so consistent last season, and he's been quite good so far at the beginning this season as well. You can see he's got some decent attributes. He's got good one-on-ones. He's got decent reflex. He's also quite good at rushing out, so he can play the sweeper keeper role, which I am more of a fan of than a regular goalkeeper. So we may see over the season he may come in and become first choice as we go. He has, however, signed a youngster contract, so he isn't expecting much first-team football, which is quite good for us. So just a nice backup option there. Hopefully we're better than last year's Sam Booth for us, but we'll have to see quite how he does. He's played once. He did concede twice, and he didn't play overly brilliant, but the team themselves didn't play brilliant in that game. I'll come to the schedule in a minute so I can show you that as well. We've also picked up what I think is kind of the pick of the bunch here in Bryson Tambry. So I said last episode I wanted a defensive midfielder, and that is exactly what we've got here with Bryce. He's another Belgian, randomly. We've now picked up 2 Belgians after not having very many foreign players at all. And Bryce here has, I think he was previously at Oldham Athletic beforehand, and that's where we've got him from on a free transfer. And as a ball-winning midfielder, he does a very decent job. He's also quite good actually on the ball, so if we wanted to switch it up later on down the line to being a deep-line playmaker, we now have that option. So that's really good for us. And I think he can come in and do a really good job. He's not played overly brilliantly so far, but to be fair, he hasn't actually been very fit since I've signed him. So I'm hoping as the games go on, he may get fitter and kind of slot more into that role a bit more naturally. But I'm very pleased with his pickup here. He's what I wanted in a defence midfielder, and now we've got 2 very good options in the Tambry here and also the Belgian as well, so they can interchange if needed. Next, though, on the list is Max Harrop. Harrop is very much just a backup option. I mean, just ignore the downward-looking arrows. He's a decent player. He's only a 2-star rated winger. He's an inside forward or inverted winger on the right-hand side. He's left-footed. So essentially, he's a straight swap option for Malazor if Malazor is either not fit or not playing well. And it just gives us a bit more depth. He can also play on the left if needed. And he can also play in behind the striker, which I have kind of been experimenting with a little bit at the moment for when we haven't been playing well. I've been looking to take off the defensive midfielder and bring up an attacking midfielder, either with the Belgium or with Harrop here. So it gives us another option in midfield, which I quite like as well. So as I say, very much a backup option, not on a huge amount of money, only about £650 a week. He's not expecting much playing time, so a decent option for us on the wings there. The final signing, and this is one which I wasn't overly kind of thinking I was going to do initially, and then as I mentioned in the intro, Jamie Thomas got injured. I'll show you the injury in a moment. And so I kind of felt I had to bring him in here. So we brought in Jordan Hulme, I think is how you pronounce his name, Hulme, I'm not sure, I think it's Hulme. And he's a striker, pressing forward attack. He's essentially Ibi Akambi, but actually can score goals. Is kind of what I have gathered from looking over at his record and so on. He's a very decent striker. He's on a little bit of money. He's on about £1,000 a week, so he's actually on more money than what Jamie Thomas is on. So hopefully he can come in, do a job, get us a few goals, especially in Thomas's absence. And we may end up finding that if Thomas ends up leaving possibly in the next window, he may slot in and just become the natural replacement as time goes on. He was formerly at Altrincham, played last year in the National League North, and he got 9 goals. He's not amazing, but he's got some goals, and he's a decent player anyway. He's got some good attributes. He's got a decent finish on the ball, so hopefully he can do a job for us. You will be seeing him play today when we face off against Morecambe later on in the episode as well. But I'll just quickly show you our squad so we can have a look at Jamie. Where is he? There he is, Jamie Thomas. He's damaged his kneecap, so he's now out between 5 and 8 weeks. It was initially 6 to 9, so we've played 1 week since the injury. He's not, to be honest, performed particularly well since the season began. He's only got 2 goals in 7 and 1 assist, so he's not been doing brilliantly. He has obviously been unhappy, as I said last episode. He has now said he's happy to stay, so I am going to try and sign him to a new contract. At the moment, when I tried a few days ago, he was asking for too much money, but we may be able to tie him down yet if we get lucky. The fact he's injured as well will kind of hopefully die down some of the interest in him as well, so hopefully we'll be able to tie him down to a longer term contract and possibly up the release clause that we have for him. But we won't be seeing him this episode, and probably not for a good few episodes yet due to that injury. He at least will be out until the middle of October, maybe not until November. So hopefully his absence doesn't cost us too many points. But saying that, although he hasn't been playing particularly well, the team themselves have done. So if I show you our schedule, you can see here we've had quite a good start. First of all, with the games that we've played off screen, we had Chorley, who were really, really poor. They were bottom of the league, second bottom of the league, and we only beat them 1-0. So we didn't play particularly well. Defensively, we did quite well, but offensively, we were very, very poor, and it took till quite late in the game to actually even score against them. We then played Sutton away, where we won 2-0. It was a really good performance. Had 2 very good goals from Justin and Malazor, who's kind of adapted to life in the Vanarama National League quite well for us. He's been getting the majority of the goals, I found, him and Wishart, rather than Jamie Thomas. We then played Eastleigh at home, which I was expecting to kind of drop points. Eastleigh, you've got quite a strong squad in the league, and we beat them 2-0. We were very comfortable in this one. Again, much like the Sutton game, really played very well, especially defensively, and we got the win that we needed. So at this point, we were top of the league, and it was looking ridiculous because we won 4 from 4. But then kind of the more likely results kind of began to set in. We played Boreham Wood, and we were very poor here. We were lucky to even get a draw. It was a very dreadful and drab performance from us. Offered nothing creatively. We didn't look as good defensively in this either. Boreham Wood probably could have won this, and we were quite lucky that they didn't. We then faced off against Barnet, where again we got lucky. We could have easily lost this. We could actually have easily won it, to be fair. We only had 2 real chances, which was a Jamie Thomas goal, and he also had a penalty which he missed. So we could have won it, but other than that, we really kind of FM'd Barnet in this, because Barnet dominated the game and had much better chances than we did. So I took the draw and was kind of happy that we got a point in the end. And then we played Halifax, who obviously we played last year in the FA Trophy, and this year we didn't do quite as well. We lost 2-1. We didn't deserve anything. It could have been a lot worse. Dan Wishart was stupid and got sent off for 2 yellow cards in very quick succession. As a result, he's banned for the Morecambe game here, and we could have easily lost the game against Halifax about 4-5-1. So we were very, very lucky with that. But as a result of those performances, though, we are currently sitting in 7th place in the league. We're doing very, very well and much better than I was expecting. I'm still expecting us to be kind of fighting around the bottom half of the table when the season kind of comes to a close, especially now I'm missing Jamie Thomas. It's going to be much tougher. But with 10 points clear of Stockport in 21st, and it's going very well and I'm very pleased with it. We have got Morecambe today. I was initially planning to do the Morecambe and Barrow game, but due to obviously the transfers and everything going on, we're only going to do the one game here today. So we've got Morecambe coming up, who are in 13th place. They were relegated from League 2 last season, and we did play them in the FA Cup. So hopefully we can get some redemption against them in this one. I'm not expecting very much, to be totally honest. Morecambe's squad is very strong, and they've got one of the top goal scorers in the league and one of the top assisters, as you can see on the board here. So I'm not expecting too much when we actually face off against them. But let's get into tactics and I'll show you how we're going to line up for this one. Tactically then, guys, we're going very, very strong for this game. We've got some of our new signings in the squad now for this match here against Morecambe. We're going to go with Jake Cole in net. As I said earlier, Charlie Andrew, he may well come into the squad eventually. He is rated a 4-star better than Jake Cole, but I just trust Jake a bit more at the moment. We've got then Joel Senior at right back in the full-back defend role. We've got Oliver Denham, George Elokobi and Ronan Hurley in the rest of the defence. I'm playing Ronan Hurley as a complete wing-back on support at the moment. That may well change just being a wing-back on support. Ronan prefers to play that complete wing-back and he seems to have been doing it quite well. So I'm going to trust him to play it like that instead at the moment. We then got Bryson Tambury in defensive midfielder as a ball-winning midfielder. Sam Corn's going to play the Carolero role for me, as against a very strong team away here, I think it makes more sense for us to have that. We then got Alfie Payne as the left-sided DLP now. I basically swapped them over due to me now playing Hurley is more attacking on the left rather than the attacking wing-back being on the right side. So it makes sense for us to swap the midfield roles over as well. And then we've got Malazor on the right. We've got Kinsella playing on the left due to the fact that Wishart is suspended. And then we've got the newly signed Jordan Hume going to be making his debut for us up front. So it'll be interesting how he performs here. I'm not expecting massive amounts. He's not particularly fit. He's only, as I say, he's only just joined. And then our bench consists of Marshall, Chesers, the Belgian, Max Harrop, and then Ibi Akambi. So we're going as strong really as we can do, but we are missing a few of the lads that I would prefer to be playing. But let's get into the game then with Morecambe and see how they're going to line up against us here. So if we submit our team then and get into the game, we need to give Jordan a squad number. So I'm going to say he's number 19 as he's a striker, so it makes sense for him to be that. Let's see how Morecambe line up against us here. So they're going to go for a 4-2-3-1, which I believe is what they played against us in the first two games when we played them last year in the FA Cup. So they're going to be playing pretty similar to how they did before. Now, I wonder how we are going to get on. We have got a stronger squad now, arguably, but we are missing our main man, Jamie Thomas. So will be interesting. I've told them to go out there and to avenge what happened last time. So let's see if we can get a result. So away at Morecambe, we're in our amber and black, Morecambe in their red. So let's get this game underway then. So, of course, if we can get any kind of result here, I'll be happy. I am starting us, by the way, on cautious. I found, as the season kind of began, I kind of actually swapped it to go into caution. I found it has helped us out defensively quite a lot. So I've stuck with it for now. And we'll see how it goes. As the games go on, I do change that to balanced or positive if we need a go, etc. So we'll see how it goes. Sam Corner's just done really well there. Jordan Hume, oh, that's unlucky. That could have been a decent start for him with his first attempt possibly going in there. But not a bad effort there from Jordan Hume. Good signs early on for us. I mean, as I say, a draw, happy with that. A win, amazing. But I'm not expecting it. I won't be surprised if we lose this here. To be totally honest, Morecambe's squad is so strong in comparison to ours, but hopefully we can get a good result. We've got a corner though here in the 25th minute or so. Kinsella's balled in. Denham, not a brilliant header there. Denham at centre back is really good for us at that right centre back role, but he is quite small. He's only about 5'11", so he's not great in the air, I've found. And I think one or two of the goals we have conceded actually have been due to him not reaching corners. And there's a header from Cole Stockton, who I mentioned being a top goal scorer for Morecambe there. Decent goal for them. I don't know if that was Oliver Denham who missed the header then. Let's have a quick look, just as I'm talking about him missing headers. Is it him that's caused that, or is it someone else? Let me pause it when it goes in. So, would you look at that? Look, he's going to try and win the header. It's Oliver Denham, and he's missed it. Oh, he certainly knows how to kind of give a good example of what I'm talking about, doesn't he? Well done there, Ollie. But, I mean, other than his heading, he's been pretty good. But yeah, he's not done much to kind of encourage me there, has he? But even so, it's not a bad start to the game. We have looked pretty good. That's only their first effort they've actually had that we've seen. So hopefully it's just a small blip. Although Mendes Gomez for them is just completely done Joel Senior, and Jake Cole with a very good save. Well done, Jake. Okay, let's say get creative. I mean, 36 minutes in, we're 1-0 down, but we haven't looked poor. But then again, Morecambe are starting to come into this, and it's lucky I didn't play it off to play on the left end, because he could have easily got a shot off on goal. Not a brilliant clearance there from Ronan. Come on, lads. Let's try and get into this game a bit more now. We kind of look like we've kind of dropped off now, considering how well we started it. Looks like we're just going to go into half time at 1-0 down. No more chances for us, unfortunately. Right, dressing room. I'm going to actually moan at them a little bit because it wasn't a brilliant performance. I'm going to say I expect to see much better, and that's a good showing from the lads. Let's hope that actually carries over. I'm going to change this from cautious to balanced, though. I mean, actually, I'll see what happens from this highlight. If we score, I'll drop it back down to cautious, but let's see what happens here. Sam Corn on the ball to Senior. He's played it up. It's pretty hopeful. Didn't really go to anyone. Senior's won it back, though. It's Natambury to Sam Corn. Natambury. Alfie Payne. He's been a very good player since we brought him in. I thought he would be pretty good, and he has been. He's got a lot of good pass. Hume! He scored! Jordan Hume on his debut. Brilliant ball in by Malazor. Really good goal. Well done, Jordan. I am going to put us back to being cautious as a result. But, as I was saying, Alfie Payne here, who was kind of just passing the ball there as that deep line playmaker, he's done very well for us. He's got been quite involved in all the play for us. But that there was a lovely goal. Malazor's cross to Hume's flick. Lovely job there, Jordan. Coming up trumps, considering the fact that he's here having to fill in for the injured Jamie Thomas. If you can do that and get us about 4 or 5 goals in kind of the period of time where we're going to be missing Thomas, I think we'll be all right. It's whether or not we kind of dry up in front of goal. As Cole Stockton very nearly scores again there. I really think we need to make a change. What I might do is I might bring Ross Marshall on, because he's a lot taller. So I think I am going to do that. I'm going to bring him on. I'm actually going to tell him to specifically mark Cole Stockton. If I can actually remember how you find it. I can never remember how. Oh, here you go. Mark specific player. I'm going to say mark Cole Stockton. There we go. See if that is any better, as he's obviously a lot taller, so it might work out a little bit better for us. Right, I'm going to say Demar Moore as well. I'm not going to make any other changes for the moment. I might put us to balance, though, about the 75th minute if it's still 1-1. Looks like it's going to be. So let's go balanced. And I'm going to actually take off Sam Corn for the Belgian here, because I have been trying him as a Mazzala, and I think that might not be a bad idea. I'm not going to put him as an attacking Mazzala. I'm going to put him as a supportive one, though. And let's see if it helps at all. Gives us a little bit more options going forward. Right, let's get into the last 10 minutes. So let's go positive. Can we do anything? Okay. For the last few minutes, let's bring on Harrop as well. We'll take off a Malazor. We'll bring on Harrop. Come on, lads. Let's try and do something, maybe. Last few minutes into added time. Looks like it's going to be a 1-1. Well, I said at the beginning of the game I'll be happy with a draw. I am happy with a draw. Morecambe have been the better side, but we've got a good result there, so I'm pleased with that. I'm going to say to them, before we get beaten, great result. Well done. So, overall, we've continued on our unbeaten run, strictly speaking, in 90 minutes against Morecambe, because also we drew both for the FA Cup games last year, and we've drawn once again here in the league. It does keep us in 7th place, actually, and it does also, more importantly, keep us 10 points above the relegation zone, so I'm very, very pleased about that. Not bad for us. I mean, as I said earlier, I don't think we'll be staying in these playoff spots for too long, but we'll have to kind of see how we do when we come back. Let's take a look at the schedule though, and we'll see actually where we will be facing off against when we do come back for next episode. So I think what we'll come back for, guys, is we will come back for the game against Harrogate at the end of September, and also Torquay United. With us obviously being in the Vanarama National for the first time in the save, it makes sense for us to play quite a few of the league games and so on screen. So I'm only going to play the 3 off screen against Barrow, Chesterfield and Kidderminster, and we'll then come back for Harrogate and Torquay at the end of the month. So that's what we will come back for next episode. So guys, that just about wraps up this episode today. Overall, not a bad showing from the lads there against Morecambe, picking up a 1-1 draw. Really well done, to be honest. I thought we'd get beaten, but we've picked up a point, which is really, really good stuff. Keeps us miraculously in 7th place in the league in a playoff spot, which cannot quite believe. I highly doubt, based on our current form and the fact we haven't won a league game now in 4, I highly doubt come next episode we probably will still be in that position. I imagine we would have fallen out of it, but you never know. The squad's looking a lot better with our new signings. It's looking a lot more kind of what I wanted it to look like. Of course, we're still missing the likes of Jamie Thomas because of his injury, but hopefully Jordan Hume, who's now scored in his debut, can start picking up a few goals for us and kind of helping to replace the loss of goals from Jamie there. Even so though, guys, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please do leave a like on it. And if you've got any ideas for any other players we could possibly pick up, or any of the players we've already brought in, please do chuck it down in the comments. We have a little bit of spare money left available, so there is still some leeway to getting some more players in. So if you've got any ideas, do let me know. And if you're looking forward to seeing more of the Save with Maidstone, then do subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything Stones Rolling On Up. But guys, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.